This is the very first thing women notice instantly about older men. Forget the expensive watches. Forget the luxury cars. And surprisingly, it has absolutely nothing to do with gray hair either. And if you still believe attraction is mainly built on money, then you are missing the deeper truth that truly captures a woman's attention. Because what women notice first is rarely what most men spend their entire lives trying to show off. In the next few minutes, we're going to explore 3 qualities women perceive almost immediately when they encounter a mature man. These qualities are not directly connected to age itself. They come from something much deeper. They emerge from lived experience, emotional scars, lessons learned the hard way, and the quiet wisdom that only time can develop. And by the end, we'll uncover one invisible factor, something almost impossible to describe, yet powerful enough to make a man unforgettable long after he leaves the room. But before we begin, a sincere thank you to everyone who continues supporting this channel. You are the reason this content still exists and continues reaching people around the world. If you'd like to become part of this growing community, you can find the link in the description below. Members receive access to early premieres, exclusive content, and private videos that are never shared publicly anywhere else. Now, let's begin. There is a common misconception that older men can only attract younger women through material things. Expensive dinners, high social status, luxury lifestyles, external symbols of success. But if you truly observe women closely, not just what they say, but how they emotionally respond to certain men, you quickly realize something important. None of those things are the real engine of attraction. What a woman senses within the first few moments has very little to do with physical appearance alone. In reality, it is almost entirely connected to the energy a man projects the moment he enters a space. And here's what makes this fascinating. That energy cannot be bought. It cannot be copied. And no matter how hard someone tries, it cannot be convincingly faked for very long. It comes from a man's relationship with himself, from the battles he has survived in silence, from the mistakes that humbled him, from heartbreak, disappointment, resilience, self-reflection, and emotional maturity. Older men often possess an advantage here, not simply because they are older, but because life has forced them to confront realities that younger men have not yet fully experienced. The years shape them differently. Time teaches them things no book, podcast, or motivational speech ever truly can. Today, we're exploring 3 of these qualities. Traits women recognize almost instantly. Traits that create a deeper, more lasting form of attraction than physical appearance alone could ever achieve. And the first quality is not physical at all. In fact, it is something women often feel before they consciously notice it. It is the energy of presence. A quiet, grounded aura that surrounds certain men without them ever needing to demand attention. Men who have truly lived, who have faced hardship, uncertainty, failure, and emotional storms, often develop a calm and centered presence over time. Women are naturally drawn to men who remain composed even when life becomes unpredictable, because composure communicates something deeper than confidence. It communicates inner stability. Think about how this appears in real life. Imagine a simple situation. Something unexpected happens. Plans suddenly go wrong. A small inconvenience appears, the kind of moment that can easily create stress, tension, or emotional chaos. A younger man may react immediately. His frustration becomes visible. He may try too hard to prove he is in control. His tone changes. His energy becomes restless. And ironically, the harder he tries to control the situation, the more tension he creates around him. But an older man often responds differently. Not because he doesn't care, not because he lacks emotion, but because life has already tested him in far more difficult ways. He pauses. He breathes. He assesses the situation calmly, without turning it into emotional drama. He doesn't exaggerate the problem. He doesn't panic. He doesn't need everyone around him to emotionally carry the weight of the moment. Instead, he handles the situation with quiet steadiness. And without saying a single word, this response communicates something incredibly powerful. It signals emotional control. It reveals quiet confidence. It demonstrates inner balance. And this is what women truly feel on a subconscious level. Not as a logical checklist, but as an emotional atmosphere. A feeling. The feeling that this man is grounded, safe within himself, present, real. That feeling changes everything. Because when a woman feels emotionally safe around a man, she naturally relaxes. She stops performing. She stops overanalyzing every word she says. Conversations begin to flow more naturally. There is less tension, less pressure, less emotional noise filling the space between two people. And that emotional calmness is rare, especially in a world where so many people constantly seek validation, attention, or control. Now, let's go even deeper into what creates this quality, because not every man develops it equally over time. Emotional stability is not something people are simply born with. It is built slowly through experience, reflection, pain, and self-awareness. Psychology refers to this as emotional regulation, the ability to respond to situations consciously instead of reacting impulsively. At first glance, the difference may seem small, but in reality, it changes everything. Reacting means emotion takes immediate control. The impulse arrives, and the person instantly acts on it without awareness. Responding is different. Responding means recognizing the emotion, pausing long enough to understand it, and then consciously choosing how to behave instead of becoming controlled by the emotion itself. That single difference shapes every area of life. Relationships, communication, conflict, leadership, trust, even attraction. Women notice this immediately, often without consciously realizing why they feel more comfortable around certain men than others. Because emotionally stable men create a completely different emotional atmosphere. A conversation with them feels calmer, more genuine, more grounded. There is no hidden pressure underneath the interaction. No desperate need to impress. No emotional unpredictability forcing the other person to constantly stay guarded. You simply feel like you can breathe around them. And in today's world, that feeling is incredibly powerful. But this leads to an important question. Can emotional stability actually be developed? Or is it something only a few men naturally possess from birth? The answer goes much deeper than most people realize.